Welcome everyone. Thank you for joining today's session, and we'll start the session now. I would like to thank everyone who has taken the time to join us today. I am Ashraf, product marketer at Zoho Campaigns, and I'm joined by Samita, who is a product marketer at Zoho Forms. And as you all may know, today's session is called From Lead Capture to Conversion, Designing a Full Funnel Engagement Journey. And I promise this is going to be a very useful session by the end. And I'll also promise you'll have a clear picture of how to build a marketing system that actually works for your business. Before we jump in, a quick note, we also have our support team on the line today. If you have any questions during the session, drop them in the chat and they'll be answering as we go. We'll also do a live Q&A session at the end. All right. So without any further ado, we'll start the session. And I would like to see a quick raise of thumbs to know that if I'm audible in the session. Cool. Okay, great. Thank you so much for your response. We'll start now. And quick introduction from our side. I'm Ashraf. I work for Zoho Campaigns, which is our email marketing platform. And we are joined by Samita, who is a product marketer at Zoho Forms. Samita and I are going to be taking you through this session together, and we have split the narrative so each of us covers the product we know best. Samita is going to walk you through Zoho Forms, how to capture leads the right way, and then I'll take over and show you what happens next and how Zoho Campaigns turns those leads into a structured marketing journey. But before we talk about either product, I want to start with an idea, because we think the best way to understand why this integration matters is to understand the philosophy behind it. As most of you might know this person, he's Seth Godin. If you have spent any time in marketing, you know this name. He is author of 20 books, one of the most read marketing thinkers in the world. And in 1999, he wrote something that changed how the best marketers think about their relationship with their audience. His idea was simple: turn strangers into friends, turn friends into customers. He asked all the marketers to stop interrupting people who don't want to hear from you. You must first start earning the right to speak to people who do. He called the alternative cold emails, purchased lists, generic blasts as interruption marketing. And his argument was that interruption marketing was fundamentally broken, that the only marketing that works long term is marketing that people give you permission to do. He defined permission marketing with 3 words, and we are going to use these 3 words as the thread through everything we show you today. So I want you to hold on to them. The first is anticipated. The person in the anticipated section, the person expects to hear from you because they asked to. And personal, the message is tailored to who they are and what they care about. And relevant, the message relates to their actual interests, needs, and goals. So every feature we show you today maps back to one of these 3 words. Now, this was a radical idea in 1999, but look where we are today. Inboxes are more crowded than ever. Open rates are at historic low. People have become experts at filtering out marketing that wasn't meant for them. The brands that are winning in email marketing are the ones people genuinely want to hear from. So Seth Godin was right. And the question for any growing business is, how do you actually build a system that does this? That's what today's session answers. And we are going to walk you through it with a story. And for that, we have Samita to pour some light into it. Over to you, Samita.
Hello, people. Hope you're able to hear me. Please give me a thumbs up if you are. Until then, I'll just take control of the screen and share. Right. So to make this session clearly understandable, let me give you an example of Alex. So Alex runs a SaaS business. He sells an invoicing tool, which is built for small businesses, and his product is actually genuinely good. So customers who are already using it are liking it. So the early traction that he got was because of the word of mouth. It got him that early traction, but now he is at a stage that a lot of SaaS founders hit, where they realize that what got them to the first 100 customers isn't going to get them the next 1,000, right? And Alex knows that the next leap that he needs to take is not going to come from uh, more ads or a bigger budget. It's going to come from smarter marketing. So it's going to take him the effort of building a journey that actually moves people from curious prospects to committed customers. And that journey starts with a form. So Alex has been doing the work. There's a contact form on his website and there's an email list. So on paper, Alex has all those pieces of a marketing funnel. But the problem is that none of these pieces talk to each other. So someone fills out the contact form, but nobody follows up, and then they disappear forever because there's no next step waiting for them. And emails also go out. They do go out, but it's the same message to everyone. The person who just discovered Alex's product and the person who has been on the list for 6 months are getting an identical copy of email. And although these subscribers are coming in, there's no system that actually can move them anywhere, right? So I want to be really clear about something here. Alex is not a bad marketer. He is not lazy or clueless. He's doing what most growing SaaS businesses do, picking up tools as the need arises, running campaigns when there's actual bandwidth, and collecting leads when there's push. So the effort is definitely there. But the effort without any connection doesn't create a funnel. It's just a series of isolated actions. And disconnected marketing has a very real cost. So every lead that falls through these cracks, every subscriber who never gets a follow up, every interested prospect who got a generic email and quietly unsubscribed is where that the revenue is getting lost. It's just walked out the door. So he isn't basically losing any new customers because of competition. He's losing because his system isn't built to hold people together. So let's separate what I'm trying to explain into different scenarios for your understanding. So here's the first scenario. Someone finds Alex's website and they fill out the contact form, which means they took the time to type out their name, email, or maybe they typed out a message even. So that's intent, a warm signal that they would like to connect further. And that form submission, it lands in a database. Maybe someone on Alex's team spots it and follows up that day, or maybe it gets replied to 4 days later when that person has already signed up with a competitor. Or maybe it's just a busy week and it slips through the cracks. So there's no system or automation, no instant acknowledgement that says, hey, we've got your message, here's what happens next. So there's just a form submission floating, which is waiting on human memory and bandwidth. Now let's see another scenario where Alex has a guide on how to streamline invoicing for your small business. So someone fills out the form to receive an email with the guide attached. That's an even stronger signal, that than that contact form that others have filled. This person who has filled out the form to receive the guide is actively trying to solve a problem that Alex's product exists to solve. But it's one of the 20 things in the queue that week for Alex, and the person never heard from Alex again. The window of peak interest is very short. So that window is our chance to send a well-timed follow-up. And that's when a person and relevant email would actually feel like it was written just for them. Now let's take another example. So there's this third scenario where somebody signs up for Alex's newsletter. And this is where it gets really common because Alex is sending emails. The effort is there, but everyone on the list gets this exact same message. So let's think about who's actually on the list from all these three scenarios. There's one person who requested for the guide, who already knows what Alex does and has engaged with the content and is probably close to making a decision. And then there's the person who filled out the contact form, who had a specific question or a specific need. And then there's the casual visitor who signed up because there was a pop up and they were mildly curious. So there are three different people here, completely different levels of intent. And they all get the same monthly newsletter because there's no segmentation. There is no context carried forward from how they came in. Every email is a compromise. So, written for everyone, which means it's really written for no one in particular. So, all of this adds up to three things: flat, cold, zero. Why flat? Because open rates are flat, because when every email looks the same and speaks to no one specifically, people stop opening them, right? We do the same thing. So, cold leads pile up with every form submission, every guide request, every casual sign up that never got a timely, relevant follow up. And they're just a name in the spreadsheet which are going nowhere. The list grows, but the pipeline isn't going anywhere. And it's a zero conversion system. There's no designed path from I am interested to I'm your customer now, right? So we came back to, let's go back to Seth Godin for a reason. Everything we just walked through with Alex, that's interruption marketing. And Godin called this out over 2 decades ago. So the question now is, what does the alternative to this look like? What does it look like when the pieces actually talk to each other? Every single person who filled out that contact form, who asked to get that guide, who signed up for that newsletter, they did it voluntarily. Nobody forced them to. They came to Alex's website, they found something worth engaging with, and they handed over their email address. And that is permission. That is the most valuable signal in marketing. The fix is that building the thing Gordon described. You need to build a marketing engine that treats every form submission as the beginning of a conversation that responds at the right time with the right message based on what that person actually did or asked for. So Alex doesn't need to start from scratch now. He already has the forms, he already has the audience, and he already has the content. He just needs a system to connect them. That's what Zoho Forms and Zoho Campaigns build together. So let's build a system which starts with Zoho Forms. Once a person has submitted your form, that person is actually expecting to hear from you. And Zoho Forms is where that permission begins. So the moment somebody submits a form, the journey starts automatically, and that changes everything about what's going to happen next. There's a system waiting on the other side of every submission, ready to pick up the conversation exactly where the visitor left off. So Zoho Forms is a form builder. It's an online form builder which is available on both Android and iOS apps. You can embed these forms wherever you want on your website. And every single page on your website is an opportunity to capture permission. And every form on every page tells our Alex that something different about who that person who that person is who has visited his site and where they are in their journey. So the homepage has a newsletter sign up form. The person submitting this newsletter sign up form, is someone curious, browsing, not ready to buy yet, but open to staying in touch. That's a relationship worth starting. And then he has blog posts where he has the get the full guide mail to form. If a person has submitted this form, it means that they had read the post, they wanted more, and handed over their email for receiving it. So they're learning, they're engaging with the product. Then he has a pricing page where he has embedded a contact form which says talk to our team. And a person submitting this contact form is actually a hot lead. Someone who's already thinking about the cost, has already evaluating. That's the highest intent form on the entire site. And then he has the events page, which has a webinar registration form. So someone submitting this form is investing their time, which means they want to go deeper. Same website, four completely different forms and four completely different signals about intent. And with Zoho Forms, every single one of these signals flows directly into Alex's marketing, ready to trigger the right follow up immediately. Now, a concern I hear a lot at this point is okay, all of this sounds great, but building multiple forms for multiple pages sounds like a lot of work. And Zoho Forms completely changes that equation for Alex. So the AI powered form builder, which is Zoho Forms, means he can go from idea to live form in just minutes without having to code, without a developer, and there's no waiting at all. He describes what he needs in simple words, and the form takes shape. And these aren't generic, a third party tool kind of forms. They are brand matched, where the design means every form looks like it belongs on your website. For example, here it would look like it belongs to Alex's website. So that trust signal matters more than people think. A form that looks out of place is a form people hesitate to fill out. So we have custom field types on Zoho Forms where Alex captures exactly the information he needs for each context. And he can embed the forms anywhere on his website, on his homepage, blog, pricing page, events page, like we discussed. And right form for the right page, for the right person. All of this can be done in a few minutes. So this is the principle that makes everything click. Every form maps to its own dedicated mailing list, not one giant list with everyone piled in. Each form, the newsletter sign up, the guide download, the contact form, the webinar registration feeds its own list automatically the moment somebody hits submit. So Alex's webinar registrants don't get the same email as his contact form leads. Those are two completely different conversations. And one person said, I want to learn. The other said, I want to talk to your team. Those are not the same email. So his newsletter subscribers get a different email. The guide requester already took a deeper step. They deserve a follow-up that acknowledges that, not a generic welcome sequence. So this is what Godin meant by personal, not hi first name at the top of the email. That's actually not personalization. That's just mail merge. So real personalization is knowing how somebody came in, what they were looking for on your website, and speaking directly to that. And it starts the moment they fill out your form. Here's what Alex's website looks like now after setting up Zoho Forms the right way. Somebody fills out the contact form, they go straight into the Talk to Us mailing list. Somebody requests the guide, they land in the content leads list. And somebody signs up for the newsletter, they join the newsletter list, and somebody fills out the pricing page inquiry, they go directly to the hot leads list. So 4 forms, and you have 4 lists for 4 different audience, automatically sorted the moment they hit submit on the form. So this is what it looks like when all the pieces of Alex actually talk to each other. And that is just the capture side of data, because what happens after someone lands on one of these lists is where Zoho Campaigns comes in. So I'll hand over the session to Ashraf to talk about Zoho Campaigns and how anyone running a SaaS business can configure different mailing lists and automate the entire marketing funnel.
So as Amita has explained, the Zoho Forms part of things is just getting permission of the leads. How do we honor it? How do we start reaching out to them will be covered with Zoho Campaigns. And just Samita explained, someone submits the form, that's the moment of permission the moment Seth Godin described, the moment Alex has been missing every single day. The question is, what happens next? Zoho Campaigns is where the permission gets honored. It takes every form submission and turns it into the start of a real marketing relationship by sending targeted, timely, and automated message. And the Seth Godin word here is relevant. The campaign you send matches exactly why that person filled in the form. A guide requester gets content about what they downloaded. A pricing page visitor gets social proof and a clear next step. That's not a guess. That's a match that you have made by sending personalized messages for the permission that they have given to you. So the moment someone submits a form, they are in Zoho Campaigns mapped to the exact mailing list that matches why they submitted. And once they are in, once the Zoho Forms and Zoho Campaigns integration is set up, the connection is live. It works at 2 a.m. on a Sunday just as well as it works on Monday morning. The follow-up starts before Alex even sees the notification. And now, no more one size fits all. Newsletter list gets weekly value content, and leads get a series built around what they asked for. Hot leads get direct outreach and a demo offer, and talk to us leads get an immediate acknowledgement and a fast follow. 4 lists, 4 campaigns, each one built around exactly why that person raised their hand. Now, let me walk you through each list in detail because the email setup inside each one is where the magic real happens. Let's start with newsletter list. These are early stage contacts, curious, not yet sales ready. We shouldn't be pushy. We should warm them up. So they found Alex's content and liked it enough to subscribe. The job here is to nurture slowly and build trust first. And day 0, you send a welcome email. This is the highest open rate email Alex will send. People are still in that active state of interest. And in day 4, you send value content. And day 10, social proof with a real customer case study. And in day 8, soft product intro. And in day 28, a clear trial CTA. And the A/B testing running here is on the day 4 subject line, 2 angles on the same topic, statement versus question. Which curiosity angle drives higher open? Zoho Campaigns lets Alex run this test, see the winner, and apply it forward. That kind of optimization compounds over time. And content leads. These contacts came looking for a solution. They requested for a solution. They requested a guide. They searched for help with a specific problem. They're further doing research on the specific problem that they're trying to solve. On day 0, you deliver the results immediately. On day 3, build on it with related content. On day 8, a customer case study. And on day 15, a natural product introduction. And day 22, a clear CTA to start with your product or start a free trial. The A/B test here is about email format on this proof email. Does a full case study in the body of the email work better? Or does a short teaser with a read more link get more clicks? Different audiences respond differently. So this is how Alex finds out what works for his specific content leads. And then comes talk to his leads. These people came to the contact page and filled in a form. They want a conversation. Speed and personalized matter more here than anywhere else. So on day 0, you send them an instant confirmation mail. Got it. We'll be in touch within 24 hours. On day 1, a qualifying question personalized to what they send in the form. Day 4, FAQ handling. And on day 8, a social proof content, a case study, or a customer story. And on day 14, a direct calendar link to book a call so that they can schedule a call with your pre-sales or sales executives to understand the solution that you are serving. The A/B test here is on send time for that day 1 follow-up. Does an immediate reply within 5 minutes build more trust, or does a next morning reply at 9 a.m. feel more considered? Some audience trust speed, others trust deliberateness. Zoho Campaigns tells which one his audience is. And the next one is for hot leads. These are sales ready leads. They have hit the pricing page. They have clicked book a demo. They know what Alex product does, and they are evaluating it right now. Probably they are comparing Alex's solution with the competitors. So this sequence moves fast. On day zero, he sends an acknowledgement email saying that you are one step away from finding out what our solution can solve for you. And on day one, proof immediately, three businesses like yours achieved these many numbers using our solution. Would you like to be that story using our business? And on day three, you start objection handling, common questions at this stage answered. You send we can answer all this if frequently asked questions in the day three. And on day six, a nudge back to the trial. And on day 10, a direct CTA. And the A/B test here is the most commercially important one. Start your free trial, self-serve versus book a 15-minute demo, high touch. For a pricing page audience which converts better, this test alone could meaningfully move revenue. Zoho Campaigns gives Alex that answer. And across all four of these lists, there is one email that sits above the rest, which is the welcome email. The highest open rate email Alex will ever send because the person just filled out the form. They are in an active state of interest. They are expecting this email. They are waiting for it. So this is anticipated, Seth Godin's first word, in its purest form. You have someone's full attention for exactly one email, deliver what they asked for, set expectations, build the relationship right from the very first send. And then the series takes over. Day zero, welcome and delivery. Day three, you send them a quick tip and you give them an idea about how to run the business. And on day seven, you send them a customer case study. And in day 14, you incentivize with the offer or a discount. And on day 21, you send them a free trial or direct ask on what they're trying to solve. 5 emails, 3 weeks, a cold lead becomes a warm prospect. And here's the thing, Alex doesn't touch any of this. It runs automatically. Every person who submits a form enters the right sequence for their list, moves through it at the right pace, and arrives at the CTA having been properly warmed up. While Alex is building the product, the sequence is building the relationship with his leads. So here's what Alex's marketing looks like now. Form submitted, lands in the right list, welcome email is received, nurture series runs, and conversion happens automatically. So as you can see, it's all connected, not more effort, a smarter system that handles Alex database. So what actually changed for Alex? He is getting higher open rates because emails are expected and relevant. People open them because they signed up for exactly this content. And he is getting warmer leads nurtured from day one. By the time a lead is ready for sales, they already know the product and trust the brand because of all the email sequence that he has built now with Zoho Forms and Zoho Campaigns. Cleaner emailing list because they are segmented by intent, not just source. Every contact is in the right place for the right reason. And the list itself is healthier because all of them are getting into the specific mailing list that they have signed up for. Better, it also accounts to better deliverability rate, fewer unsubscribes, fewer spam reports, higher engagement, people who opted in, open and click, and more trust because you're consistently delivering what was promised. And here's also getting better conversion rates because warm audiences convert, cold ones don't. This is permission marketing as a measurable outcome, not just a philosophy. So as we have seen it through the session, permission marketing isn't a strategy, it's a system. And in Zoho Forms and Zoho Campaigns terms, Zoho Forms captures the permission and Zoho Campaigns honors it. That's the story, that's the integration, and that's what we have built for anyone who's sitting where Alex was with all the pieces but nothing connected. So that brings us to the end of the session. Thank you so much for joining us today. It's been a great conversation, and we hope this gives you a real clear picture of how to put permission marketing into practice. And absolutely, you can reach out to us at support@zohocampaigns.com and support@zohoforms.com. Our support executives are more than happy to help you out. Thank you so much. Signing off, Ashraf. So,
Thank you for being here, guys.
see you again in next another useful session. Thank you.